Hi guys, and welcome to my channel. My name's Teresa and I'm the car boot crafter. It's that time of year again, isn't it, when all the children are going back to school in a few days time. And I always like to give my grandchildren a little present for going back. Their mum and dad have spent lots of money on uniforms, shoes, backpacks, all the equipment that they need for going back. So I like to do them a little present, a little gift of some crayons or pencils, a little puzzle book, maybe a little notebook that's just for them. And one of the shops not too far from here has those, those little packs of about 4 crayons or pencil crayons, wax or pencil crayons, whatever, that they do. And then they've got tiny little puzzle books as well, or colouring books to go with them. And there's also some little notebooks, some plain paper notebooks for them as well. And they're all quite dinky, quite little. And I thought that'd be really cute to do as a going back to school gift for the grandchildren. So I've bought all of those. And so I was looking for a cute little bag or box or something to go in there for it all to go in. So I've got out my this is my notebook, and I use this for any ideas and stuff that I want to remember. So I went through it and I found a backpack gift box. So I thought I'll give that a go. So I haven't had a go of it yet. I've read all my instructions a few times over. So it might be me kind of doing this on the hop as we go. But I thought, wouldn't it be fun just to switch the camera on and have a go at that? So looking at the instructions, you need 1 piece of A4 card. And we can do everything with it apart from the decorating with just 1 piece of card. So short side, score at 3 inches all the way through, top to bottom. And then score again at 6 3/4 all the way through, top to bottom, like that. Then turn it slight to the side. So this is the important bit. So this is the side that I've just done. So it's got a short, so this is 3 inches wide. This is 3 3/4 inches wide, and this one is then about 1.5 inches, something like that, wide there. So the 1.5 inches wide needs to be at the top when you turn it on the long side, because what you're going to do is you're going to make your first score at 3.5 inches, but you're only going to go to this score mark. You're not going to go all the way through. So 3.5 and then stop there. Don't go any further than that. Don't go into this box up here with that one. Then go to 5.5 and you're going to score all the way through with this. So top to bottom at the 5.5, then over to 9, and again top to bottom, and last one at 11 inches. Okay, so you've done all your scoring, so I can get rid of that. And what I've done is I've done a piece of copy paper. Ignore that. I drew the line at 3 rather than 3.5. So that is my 3 inch and 3 3/4. Then I turned it so that the long side was at the top of my board. I've scored at 3 inches, but not gone beyond that score line. Then at 5.5 all the way through, 9 and 11 both all the way through. Then what we want to do is to cut away these 2 squares here. So you've got this big one here, and then you've got these 2 here. So if I leave that there, grab my card. I can't find my good scissors, so I'm having to use these. So do bear with, because they're not brilliant. They're okay, but having used my other ones for a while, I can tell the difference. So what you want to do is cut that first piece away, making sure you're cutting that score line away as well. So just cut to the side of it right on the edge of it so that you're cutting it away like that. So that's our first piece. So that's that. We've cut that piece away. And then we're going to come over to this side. So we've got the narrow box there, and then another box which is, I think it's about 2 inches there, and we're going to cut that away, again cutting on the side of the score mark, and cut that away. Let's just be like that. That's that gone. Okay, so we can get rid of that piece, but we need to keep that piece, so I'll keep that to one side there. Okay, so that's what we've got so far. So this is that long big piece where we didn't go beyond that mark, and then this corner here. So now we're going to turn it all the way around. So we've got this box here, and we're just going to cut up into all of those. So we're going to, so this is going to be the base of our box. So just cut up along those score lines till you get to that first score line. So you're just cutting up and then stopping there, so that we can make the base of the box, which will be the inside of our backpack. Okay, so we've done that. So we've cut all the way up like that. And while we're here, so we've got that thin piece there, we need this piece, this bit, we need that as our tab. So this is the bit that we're going to use to glue it together. So I'm going to get my scissors, and that piece that we've just cut up, we don't need it, so I'm going to cut that away at a slight angle, and I'm going to do the same at this end, cutting it at a slight angle but not going beyond the score mark. So now that's what we've got. Okay, and then so we've now got 4 boxes at the bottom. The smaller ones, so these are 2 inch wide, these ones, that one there and that one there, these are going to be the tabs for inside our box. So what I want to do is to wedge them in. So just nice and easy, using my scissors, wedge that in, come across to the other one that's 2 inches and wedge that one in as well, like that. There we go. So then you end up with that. Okay, hope I'm making sense so far. So I'll move this to one side out the way. Then you'll want your corner rounder. So corner round this piece that sticks up. So this is going to be the top of our backpack, the bit that goes over. Whoops, concentrate, Teresa. There we go, that's better. So this is going to be the bit that flaps over the top of our backpack. So now I've corner rounded that, I want to reinforce all of our score marks. So crease and reinforce them, except for this one. Don't do this one. Okay, this is a crease mark and we do need it, but don't score and fold that one. If you do, it's not the end of the world, but it just goes through. I think it's going to make it look a bit better not scoring on that, and I'll show you for why when we get to it. So I'm just folding over all the other score marks and reinforcing them like that, and then we can start to make the bottom of our box. Oh no, I know what I want to do first before I do that. So got all those done so that they will make our box like that. Yep, and then that will come over like that. Before I do that, I'm going to bring my scoreboard back in. and pop it back in like that. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my scoreboard, and at the 4.5 mark I'm going to bring it down and score halfway down inside that one. So there's my 3-inch, there's my tab that's going to be, just going to make a score mark down like that inside that one. And I'm going to come across to this one. So this was the 9 score mark there. So I'm going to come to the 10, come down, and I'm going to score in this box about halfway down. It's not an exact science, just do wherever, because this is going to help us in a bit when we sort of create our bag. This is what my head is saying anyway, so we'll see if it works. So let's do that. So I'm not going to do anything with those just yet, but I do want them there now. So I'm going to also, before I do the next part, so this piece needs to fold over our box. So I'm thinking using my bone folder to sort of encourage that to bend a little bit at this stage while it's still fairly, you know, while it's flat. There we go. And do this side as well, putting it towards myself. Get it to sort of start to bend a little bit. And I don't think there's any, well, I'm not being too heavy-handed with it. I'm just, you know, being a bit firm. Let's do this side as well, otherwise it'll go a bit skewy, won't it? Being firm with it, but not, you know, sort of being too harsh with it. There we go. So now I've got a nice sort of bend going on. So I think when I fold that over, that's going to want to sit quite nicely. Okay. Now, before I do the next bit, I think gluing my pattern paper on is going to be easier this way. So that piece I need for later. So I've got a piece that is 3 1/4 by 2 3/4, and that's going to go on there. And I've got a piece, 2 pieces that both measure 3 1/4 by 3 1/2, and one's going to go on there and one's going to go on there. So let's glue those down and see how we get on with that. I think I'm doing it right. I think this is going to work out, but like I say, I've got the instructions, but not a lot else. So let's see how this works out. So if like me, you've got directional paper, do have a think about it. What I actually did was I used my template to measure and put all my, worked out what size patterned paper I needed and where. So that's right. Okay, now that's going to be the bottom, so I need to make sure I'm putting it on the right way round. There we go. And the same with this one. Put that on the right way round. This is, what's the name of this collection? Hold on, let me have a think. Where did I put it? There we go. So this is a Paper Mania pack, and I've had this for ages, and I think this might have actually been gifted to me from somebody, or for a challenge or something. I can't remember, but yes, it's the Hugs, Honey and Hugs, and it's really a very sweet little paper pack. Oh, is that the right way around? Yes, hold on, thought it was upside down for a minute there. So there's my bottom, so I must make sure that when it stands up, it's standing up the right way. Now this one, because this one comes over, let me show you, that comes over, so I want to make sure that that's the right way. So that's going to go like that. I've already corner rounded the bottoms. there. So hopefully that will work out the right way. We'll soon see. We will soon see. So a bit of glue on there, not too much, because this is, you know, it's a lovely paper, but it is paper, so I don't want to put too much glue on. Now I've bent that now, haven't I? So might be better to put this down before you bend your card. Let's pop that on. Keep going skew-if on this. See if that works. Is that better? That's about right, isn't it? So there we go. So that's there. Now then, I'll give that a minute to dry, and then I'm going to come back in and bend it again using my bone folder. I don't want it to I don't want it to go too flat again. So let's just roll it a little bit like that. That helps. And not creasing that. If I had a crease that, it would want to just fold over. But I want the crease there to give it some definition, but not too much. Okay, I'm going to leave that to dry now. And what I'm going to do is bring this across. So we've got our tab there. So I've got my glue. Put some glue on there. Like that. And I can bring that across like that. There we go. And that lines up really nicely using my bone folder. Push that in to the card. And then we have a little box starting to form. Now this is going to be the front of my box. I'm going to fold this one back out of the way because I want to work on, let me just get my bone folder in there and just reinforce that glue into there. There we go. So I want that out the way because I want to remind myself that that's going to come this way, because to get a nice seal I want that to sort of roll round. If I do it that way, you still get it, but you'll get that on the bottom, and it's not, you know, it's not as nice. So fold that out the way, get your glue, and let's put some glue on these tabs here like that. A bit this side, there we go, and a bit this side like that. And bring that one over. Okay, and you can see really easy here that this isn't going to come all the way across. It does stop shy, but I did it like that. I'm kind of going with that because otherwise I'd have lost space in the body of the bag. So I hope that makes sense. So again, a little bit of glue, but bearing in mind that this piece equally doesn't go all the way across. So just put a little bit of glue on this side of the tab. So just down here. Staying down here. So I don't want to put glue all the way at the top and then for it to stick to something else. I am going to run a bead of glue along there, that edge, to hold it all down. And then bring that across, and that should seal in really well there. So I'm going to get my bone folder inside. Yeah, that's working lovely. Okay, right. Now I'm going to put that to one side and let everything dry when I go on to the next part. So remember that piece that we cut away and we put to one side for a minute. So it's 3 inches by gosh, what is it? I think it's about 5.5 inches. So if you wanted to do it in a contrasting colour or in a different, you know, piece of card, then fine, help yourself. But this is 3 inches. So what I want to do is check which is the edge that I cut. So that is I can get rid of that piece. So I think this is the edge I cut, and you can tell because it's not exactly straight. It's close, but it's not exactly straight. So I'm just going to cut that edge so it is straight. And I've just got a very thin piece that I've taken off. Okay, so there's my 3-inch. I'm going to take it to 2-inch. And because this is slightly under 1 inch, I'm going to pop that one to one side. So that's 1 inch roughly. Then I'm going to take my card again to 1 inch. And I'm going to cut that. So now these two are most definitely 1 inch. So I'm going to turn them and I'm going to cut these at, let me double check, 4 3/4. So there we go, 4 3/4, and that one's at 4 3/4, like that. So there we go. This one now I can bring back in. It's not quite, actually it's not far off 3 inches. It's very 1 inch, sorry, it's very, very close. What I'm going to do is I'm going to cut 2 inches off that. So, and that's the piece we want. I'm going to keep that just in case, because I think I'm going to use that for the closing mechanism along with this piece. So I'm going to pop those there for a minute, put that out the way, and then I'm going to bring these two back in along with my scoreboard. And I don't know where I've put my little scoreboard either. Also put that somewhere safe, but you know. And I'm going to score all of these at 3/4 of an inch. No, half an inch. Half an inch. So half an inch there, and half an inch there, and again half an inch. Turn it round and half an inch. Oh, there we go. So that's all my scoring done again. Let's fold these over like that and that, and again, oops, let's keep that on the straight and narrow. That's twisted ever so slightly, and then that one as well. Now those are both ever so slightly twisted, so I did score it at 3/4, so I'm just going to use my bone folder to sort of smooth that out from the other side. So I've only got my half inch one there. Then this is entirely up to you. I'm just going to come in ever so slightly and cut off the tiniest bit of a wedge, hardly noticeable, but just enough to sort of hide any inconsistencies, just to make it nice and tidy when I glue it onto the back of my my backpack. So I mean, you can go in as far as you like. I've come in a lot more on that one than I meant to, but there we go. Whereas this end I've hardly come in at all, but it doesn't really matter. It's whatever you fancy. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue these onto the back of my backpack. But I'm going to do it by eye. I'm going to live dangerously and do it by eye. So I'm just going to put glue on one end of this one, and then I'm going to by eye come in, and this is that score mark that we never folded over, so I want it just under that at the top there. So in fact I'm going to just have a little bit of the pattern paper showing. I think that works quite well. Let's keep that nice and straight. Fold that over, and I'm going to put my hand inside just to support the back of the backpack, back of the box, like that. So that's pushed in. I'm going to grab the other one and do the same. A little bit of glue on just one end. Don't need to do both ends at this stage. because otherwise you get, well, if you're anything like me, you'll get glue everywhere. So again, I'm going to buy I, come in, I'm going to use my paper as my guide, like that. That works fine. So flip that back up, and again use my bone folder, push that in. And oh, what I should have done and didn't is I should have got my bone folder in and curled these, shouldn't I? That would have helped. Now I've got to do it while they're kind of stuck on here, which is not going to be easy. So don't do as I've done. Curl these before you glue them down. It will just, oh, I'm going on the squiff with that, aren't I? Never mind. Hold it in place and do it. So yeah, definitely do this before you glue the one end down. So it just gives you a bit of a curl. It's going to make it easier for me to glue down there, I hope. And if you do it before you glue that down, hopefully you don't end up with it going on the skewiff like that has. So let's do this one first. So a little bit of glue on that tab there. And let's bring it down here. And I'm going to come up a little bit more from the bottom because I want a nice sort of bend on here. But personal preference, this is completely up to you how far you want. I mean, you can take it how far up or down you want. Just make sure it's nice and level. And do the same with this one. See, I could have gone all the way down there, couldn't I, and still had a bit of a curl on it. I wanted a bit more of a curl on it than that. So yeah, personal preference, and depends what you're doing with it, I suppose. So let's do that one, and I'm gonna buy I again, making sure I keep in line with that one, which I think is about there. Let's give it a minute for it to grab. It does want to twist, that's the only problem, because I've had to use my bone folder while it's attached to the one end. It's kind of a bit twisty. I've come across too much. Keep it level with there as well. There we go. Get my bone folder in there, hopefully that'll grab now. There we go. So that's the back of it done. And do you remember those two little score marks we put in the sides here, so about halfway down? So I'm just going to pinch those in. So either side, pinch those in, push them in like that, and the same on this side, push that in like that, and that then gives us our backpack shape like that. So almost done. I'm just going to think about the catch. So I'd already decided that I was going to put something on there, so I knew that was going to be an inch, so I've got that. So get my corner rounder. Let's corner round that. Oops. How do you sharpen a corner rounder? Because this is not very sharp at all anymore. So both sides, you see, not very sharp at all. There we go, both sides. So I'm going to glue that on there. So I've already cut this piece. So this piece is 3/4 of an inch wide by 1 3/4 in length, and I've had my bone corner rounder, and I've corner rounded the top of that as well. Let's put some glue on the back here. We can glue it onto this piece of red card like that. Okay, there we go. push that in like that, and this is then going to go on there like that. So let's get a bit of glue on there. So I'm coming down about 1/2 inch, maybe 3/4 on that, going all the way. Let's use the edge of that to spread it around a bit, spread it to the top because I don't want it to catch. Right, and again I'm going to go by eye and put that on there. I'm just going to use my fingers to push it in because obviously, well, can I get my bone folder onto it? Oh, I can, as long as I'm careful. There we go. So that's stuck on there. Now I've got this piece. Now this should be the width of the body. Yep, it is. Now I'm going to go with the width of it, but you can have it shorter if you prefer. So I'm just going to cut this. That's 1/2 inch. So I'm cutting that at 1/2 inch. So let's pop that out of the way. I'm just seeing which one is thinner because I want the thinnest one. That should be a one. It's that piece that is not quite 1 inch wide, isn't it? So that piece is slightly thinner than that one. That one is 1/2 inch. This is slightly less. So I'm going to use the slightly less one, and I'm going to glue that across the front like that, and then I can tuck that in. So I want to see where that's going to go. That's going to go there. I'm going to put some glue either side. So coming across about 3/4 inch on both sides again. Like that. And like I say, if you want it smaller you can. So it's about 1 inch wide, so you could go to sort of 2 inch and glue it 1/2 inch either side, or you could even go to 1 1/4, but that only gives you 1/4 inch to glue on each side. So have a think about it. So I'll bring that down like that so I know where I'm gluing. So I'm going to go across there, I think, like that. So again, I'm putting my hand inside just so as I can push that on and make sure that's nice and straight, like that. Let's give that a minute while I pop this back in there, like that. And there you have your completed backpack. So I will push that in, but I'm going to hold it because I don't want it to, the pressure to pull that glue off. So that goes in there like that, or if you prefer you could put a magnet on there or some velcros, whatever